What if everything you believed about Maine Coon cats was wrong? Scientists have long been fascinated by their enormous size, remarkable intelligence, and mysterious genetics. From bizarre behaviors to unbelievable secrets, each fact is more surprising than the last. And if you own a Maine Coon, number 8 will leave you speechless. Let's dive in. Number 1, the kitten that refuses to stop growing. Here's what blindsides every new owner. A normal cat is fully grown in about a year. A Maine Coon takes 3 to 5. That means the kitten someone brings home just keeps stretching, filling out, and getting heavier long after every other cat is stopped. Owners describe measuring their cat against the couch every few months, half laughing, half worried, wondering when on earth it will finally stop growing. Some of these cats are still adding size at age 4. It's like buying a small pet and slowly, over years, realizing you now share your home with a panther. So if someone's Maine Coon still feels like it's expanding well past its second birthday, they aren't imagining it. The gentle giant they signed up for is quietly, steadily, getting more giant with every passing season. Number 2, it eats with its hands. Watch a Maine Coon at its food bowl, and you might do a double take. Instead of just eating like a normal cat, many of them scoop up their food with a paw and lift it to their mouth, almost like a person using a hand. They'll dip a paw into a water glass and drink off it, drag chunks of food out of the bowl, and wash their meal in a way that looks unmistakably deliberate. This is actually the behavior that helped launch the raccoon myth centuries ago, because raccoons do the very same thing. There's no deep mystery to it, they're just clever and dexterous. But it never stops being funny. Owners describe sitting down to dinner across from a 20-pound cat that is also, very seriously, eating with its hands like it was invited to the table. Number 3, it will pick one person, and that person is you. Now, the quietly beautiful one. For all their size and wild looks, Maine Coons often form one deep, almost obsessive bond with a single person in the home. They become what owners lovingly call Velcro cats. They'll follow that one person from room to room, wait outside the bathroom door, appear the moment you sit down, and settle nearby just to be part of whatever you're doing. It isn't the needy, loud clinginess of some breeds. It's a calm, steady, chosen kind of devotion, a giant animal quietly deciding that you, out of everyone, are its person. Ask any Maine Coon owner, and they'll describe the exact moment they realized their cat had picked them. There's something genuinely moving about a creature, this powerful looking at an entire household and deciding its whole heart belongs to just one of you. Number 4, this cat used to have a job. Before it was a show star or a family pet, the Maine Coon worked for a living. Farmers and sailors didn't keep these cats because they were beautiful. They kept them because they were devastatingly good hunters. Barns full of grain and ships full of stores meant rats, and rats meant disease and ruin. A big, powerful, cold-proof cat that could patrol a barn all winter or a ship for months was worth real money. These cats earned their place beside humans by being the most effective pest control anyone had. That deep hunting drive never left. It's why a modern Maine Coon will stalk a toy across the carpet with terrifying focus, or bring you a gift you never asked for. That gentle giant on your couch is a retired professional. Number 5, it breaks the one rule every cat is supposed to follow. Everybody knows cats hate water. Then they meet a Maine Coon. This breed is famous for shattering that rule completely. Many of them are obsessed with water. They'll paddle in their bowls, ambush a dripping tap, drop toys into the toilet, and some will happily climb into a running bathtub like it's the best thing that ever happened. The reason is stitched into their coat. A Maine Coon's fur is slightly water-resistant, built to survive snow and damp, so getting wet simply doesn't trigger the panic it does in other cats. What was once life-saving cold weather gear now shows up as a giant cat that treats your bathroom like a water park. If someone's ever caught their cat fishing ice cubes out of a glass one by one, that's the Maine Coon, showing its true colors. Number 6, some are born wearing mittens. Here's a hidden quirk sewn into the breed's history. Early Maine Coons had an unusually high rate of a harmless trait called polydactyly, meaning extra toes. At one point, close to 40% of them carried it, and it wasn't a flaw, it was a superpower. Those wide, extra-toed paws worked like natural snowshoes, spreading the cat's weight across deep snow and gripping the swaying decks of ships. Sailors reportedly saw these big-pawed cats as good luck and welcomed them aboard. Show standards later bred the trait down, but polydactyl Maine Coons are still very much around, padding through homes on paws so wide they look like the cat is wearing furry mittens. So if a Maine Coon has a couple of bonus toes, that's not a defect. It's a living souvenir from the breed's rugged seafaring past. Number 7, you've already seen one on screen. Long before people knew the breed's name, they'd already fallen for a Maine Coon on the big screen. These cats have quietly been Hollywood royalty for years. The sinister Mrs. Norris, the cat who prowls the halls in the Harry Potter films, was played by trained Maine Coons. The eerie cat in the horror classic Pet Sematary? Also, Maine Coons. Filmmakers love them because their size, expressive faces, and calm intelligence make them unforgettable on camera. So that majestic, slightly spooky feline presence that sticks in your memory from movies, there's a very good chance it was a Maine Coon doing the acting. The next time one of these cats fixes you with that deep, knowing stare, remember, it comes from a bloodline that has literally been stealing scenes in blockbuster films. Number 8. The internet crowned one the longest cat alive. The world's fascination with these giants is far from over. In recent years, a Maine Coon named Omar became a global sensation when his owner in Australia posted photos of him online. Stretched out, he measured around 4 feet long, and the internet completely lost its mind. Overnight, people around the world were arguing about whether Omar was the longest cat on the planet, and he racked up an enormous following just for being enormous. He wasn't a movie cat or a show champion. He was just a regular family pet who happened to be built like a small leopard. Omar proved something every Maine Coon owner already knows in their bones. You don't need to do anything special with a cat this size. Simply existing at that scale is enough to stop the entire internet in its tracks. Number 9. The secret hidden inside its heart. Now the one I promised, and the reason it matters more than any other. Maine Coons carry a higher genetic risk for a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, where the heart muscle thickens and struggles to pump. It's the most common heart disease in cats, and this breed is especially prone to it. The frightening part is how silent it can be. A cat can look completely healthy right up until the disease turns severe. But here is the part that turns fear into power. A specific mutation linked to this condition in Maine Coons can be caught with a simple DNA test, and heart scans can spot trouble early. This is exactly why responsible breeders screen their cats before breeding. If you love one of these giants, let this be the sentence you remember. Ask your vet about heart screening. It could quietly save their life. Number 10. It never truly grows up. After that heavy truth, here's the joy that balances it. Most cats mellow into serious, sleepy adults. Maine Coons often refuse to grow up on the inside. Long after they've reached their massive full size, many keep the pure playfulness of a kitten, chasing toys, ambushing feet, and turning a crumpled ball of paper into the greatest event of the day, well into their older years. Now, combine that permanent kitten spirit with a body the size of a small dog, and you get comedy. A 20-pound cat thundering down the hallway after a bottle cap is a sight you never forget. It's a huge part of why families adore them. You're not just getting a dignified giant to admire from across the room. You're getting a lifelong goofball who simply happens to be enormous. Number 11. The wild look hiding in the ears and paws. Look closely, and 2 details give this cat its untamed, almost lynx-like appearance. First, the ears. They're tall, set high, and often crowned with long tufts of fur shooting straight up like little antennas. Those tufts weren't for style. They helped keep snow and cold out of the ears in freezing weather. Then look down at the feet. Between the toes grow thick tufts of fur, like the cat is wearing built-in slippers, giving extra grip and warmth on ice. Put them together, and you get that famous tiny wildcat look people fall head over heels for. It's the reason a Maine Coon so often gets mistaken at a glance for something part wild. Every feature that makes it look like a miniature lynx was really just a tool for surviving a winter most cats never could. Number 12. This breed almost vanished forever. Here's a history most owners have never heard. In the late 1800s, the Maine Coon was a superstar, winning America's earliest cat shows. Then fashion turned on it. Glamorous imported breeds like the Persian became the trend, and the humble native giant fell so far out of favor that by the mid-1900s, some people declared the breed practically extinct. It could have disappeared completely and been forgotten. But a small group of devoted fans refused to let that happen. They organized, they bred, they fought for it, and they dragged the Maine Coon back from the very edge of oblivion. Today, it's one of the most beloved breeds on the entire planet. So this cat isn't only big and beautiful, it's a survivor twice over, a breed that was nearly lost forever and clawed its way all the way back to the top. Number 13, it behaves suspiciously like a dog. This is the one that makes people question everything they know about cats. Maine Coons are strikingly intelligent, and they use it. Many can be taught to play fetch, walk calmly on a leash, and come running when their name is called. They work out how to open doors, pop cabinets, and operate the faucet they're not supposed to touch. They greet people at the front door, they learn routines, they watch you closely, and they seem to genuinely follow what's happening around them. Owners joke that they didn't get a cat, they got a very furry dog who is also a burglar. And there's a warning inside that charm. A bored Maine Coon will invent its own entertainment, and nobody in the house is going to enjoy the results. Number 14. That magnificent coat sends you a bill. Time for the honest truth nobody puts in the cute videos. That flowing, weatherproof mane comes at a price, and the price is your time. Maine Coons carry a long, dense coat that mats if it's neglected, especially behind the ears, under the legs, and along the belly. Left alone, those mats tighten against the skin and become painful, sometimes requiring a vet or groomer to shave them out. So owners brush, often, several times a week, and even more during heavy shedding seasons. When the amount of fur coming off a cat this size has to be seen to be believed, nobody warns first-time owners about the fur. It gets on everything, in everything, and never fully leaves. That gorgeous coat isn't a feature, it's a commitment. Number 15. The males and females look like different breeds. Here's a detail that confuses newcomers constantly. In Maine Coons, the size gap between males and females is dramatic. A big male might hit 20+ pounds with a broad head, heavy bones, and an enormous ruff around his neck like a lion's mane. A female of the same lineage often lands closer to 12 or 14 pounds, noticeably finer boned and more delicate in the face. Put them side by side, and someone unfamiliar with cats would swear they're looking at two separate breeds. It's why people sometimes insist a female Maine Coon isn't a real one, simply because she isn't monstrous. She absolutely is. Nature just handed the males the extra bulk. So if a Maine Coon isn't the size of a small dog, that doesn't make her fake. It probably makes her a girl. Number 16. It comes alive in the weather that kills other cats. Watch a Maine Coon see snow for the first time. Most cats hesitate at the door, lift a paw, and retreat. A Maine Coon walks straight into it. This is the one environment its entire body was built for, and you can see something switch on. The snowshoe paws grip. The waterproof outer coat sheds the wet. The ruff and the tail keep the heat in. Owners describe their cats rolling in fresh powder, hunting shadows across a frozen yard, and refusing to come back inside while everyone shivers at the window. It's a strange thing to witness, an animal doing exactly what centuries of brutal winters shaped it to do. For a few minutes in the snow, that pampered house cat isn't a pet at all. It's a survivor remembering. Number 17. And one day, one of them will choose you. Put it all together, and the Maine Coon stops being a cat and starts being a story. A record-breaking giant. A working hunter turned house companion. A creature that eats with its hands, sings like a bird, walks into blizzards for fun, and once sat beside strangers in a nursing home so they wouldn't feel alone. It carries a hidden heart worth protecting, a past that nearly ended in extinction, and a devotion so complete that owners describe it less like a pet and more like a family member who happens to weigh 20 pounds. These cats don't just live in your house. They pick a person, attach themselves to a life, and somehow make an entire home feel bigger just by being in it. And every owner will tell you the same thing. You never really choose a Maine Coon. Somehow, this enormous, ancient, gentle creature chooses you. Number 18, named after an animal it can't possibly be related to. The word coon in Maine Coon comes from raccoon, and the story behind it is fantastic and completely impossible. Early settlers looked at this cat's huge, bushy striped tail and the odd way it played with its food, and they became convinced it was born from a house cat mating with a raccoon. It's a wonderful legend. Biologically, it's a flat impossibility. The two animals are so genetically distant, they simply cannot produce offspring. So where did this cat truly come from? Nobody knows for sure. The best guess is that long-haired ship cats landed on American shores, bred with local cats, and were reshaped by brutal winters. But the truth never caught up to the myth. To this day, this cat carries the name of a creature it could never, ever be related to. Number 19, a giant cat with the voice of a bird. This one makes owners melt and laugh at the same time. For such an enormous animal, the Maine Coon has an absurdly tiny voice. Instead of a normal meow, it chirps, it trills, it chatters, and it makes a soft warbling sound that seems impossibly delicate for its size. Picture a 20-pound cat opening its mouth, and out comes a little squeak. They're also incredibly chatty, keeping up a running commentary as they follow you room to room, answering when you talk to them, announcing themselves as they walk in. Living with one feels less like owning a silent, mysterious cat and more like rooming with a huge, gentle companion who narrates their entire day to you in a voice that sounds like it belongs to a songbird, not a lion. So now I have to know, do you have a Maine Coon at home, or are you waiting for the day one finally chooses you? Because every owner swears their gentle giant has a personality even bigger than its body, and I want to see if it's true. Drop a comment right now and tell me the single most surprising, ridiculous, or heart-melting thing your Maine Coon has ever done. The snow chaos, the chirping, the sheer impossible size, just one story. The best ones are going to leave the whole comment section in disbelief. And if this video changed the way you see these incredible cats, hit that subscribe button, because I've got more mind-blowing cat discoveries coming that'll completely rewire how you understand your own cat.